What's going on, guys? Welcome to Exotics Anonymous, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 most reliable supercars. Now, of course, this is kind of a weird statement, because are any supercars really reliable when you compare them to like a Toyota Corolla? Probably not, but they're also way more fun than a Toyota Corolla, so we're going to talk about this anyways. Starting out at number 5 on the list, so we'll go from least reliable on this list to most reliable. We're going to start with the AMG GTR from Mercedes. The reason I'm putting this on here, even though it's a questionable supercar, because it's not really like a McLaren or Ferrari level supercar, but nonetheless it's still pretty impressive. It's got that 4-liter V8 that they put in like every car, so they've worked out most of the issues with it. Obviously the GTR is discontinued now. We're on to the new AMG GT. I'm sure there'll be a GTR to follow at some point. That engine's been pretty tried and tested. There's plenty of cars with over 100,000 miles with that engine in it. I don't know if anybody's put over 100 on a GTR. I'm sure somebody probably has. But overall, I mean, those engines are workhorses. There's parts available for them if they do break. They're kind of expensive to fix, but if you're buying a supercar, you're probably expecting to have some maintenance issues. I think the AMG GTR deserves to be on this list. The interior for the most part is fine on that car, because it's in, that steering wheels and everything. A lot of those buttons are in everything. So nothing stupid's going to break on you, like might happen if you were in, say, like a, Ferrari or McLaren or something like that. Before we get to the next car, I want to talk about what it means to be reliable as a supercar, because there are different levels of it. There's some that, they will work every time you drive them, but they might have a check engine light. And then there's others that are just going to work, period, and not give you a lot of problems. And then there's some that might spend more time at the dealer than at your garage, which is not what we want. So I'll give some examples of all of them after I get through the list of cars, but we'll get through the list of the 5 first, then we can dive a little deeper into my personal opinions on some of these things. Maybe we'll talk about McLaren being, known for notorious reliability issues, and whether or not that's still the case. And maybe there's some cars it is the case for, maybe it's some cars it's not. That's a little hint. Okay, jumping into number 4, kind of a cheating answer because it's essentially the same car, but I'm going to put the Aston Martin Vantage there at number 4. Specifically the one that just went out of production. Now they're making the new Vantage, but the one that just went out was literally like a C63. It's 503 horsepower from the same 4-liter Mercedes V8 in the Aston Martin body. I think the only thing that you probably would have to worry about on that car is the suspension, because everything else is pretty much the same as a C63. The only thing is, when you take it to get like an oil change, I've been hearing it's about $1,200 to get an oil change on that Vantage, whereas on a C63 it's probably like $200. So maybe find somebody that knows how to do an oil change on a C63 and have them do it for you on the Aston, and save yourself $1,000 if you're in that position. And that's kind of like a more of an entry-level exotic car, so you probably would want to save $1,000 on an oil change if you could. I'm sure you might want to save that at any level, but some people have so much money they just don't care. But it'd be nice to save $1,000 on something as simple as an oil change. I mean, it's probably not even too difficult to do yourself, honestly, on that car, so that might be worth looking into if you wanted to buy one of those. And if there's any cars you guys want to see a full dive into what the ownership and maintenance issues could be in a car, let me know, because I happen to know a lot of random maintenance facts about a lot of these cars, so if there's anything I could help anybody with, I'd be happy to. But yeah, the Aston Martin Vantage, the interior, very nice. I don't think you'll have a lot of problems, because it's all last-gen Mercedes technology in that car, so it'll all work. Some of it's a little annoying, like the scrolly wheel in the middle, not the best, but it should all work fine. And like I said, I think the suspension's probably the only trouble point on that car. Maybe the turbos if you mess around tuning it, but I think for the most part it'll be fine. I see so many of them for sale with like 40,000 miles on them, so I'm sure you're good for at least the first 40,000 miles. And that transmission, that one's just an 8-speed auto too. It's not even the dual clutch that's in a lot of the Mercedes, so it's even less complicated, probably even more reliable. So I think the Vantage is another supercar you could really beat on and not have any issues with it, and hopefully not cost you too much to own. Jumping into number 3, I'll explain why I only put this at 3 as we get to the end of the list. I'm going to put the Porsche 911 Turbo S, or you could say the GT2 RS, the GT3, the GT3 RS, whatever you want to put in there. Porsches are notoriously reliable when it comes to sports cars. They make a great product. It works almost all the time. The only thing I will say is when they do break, they're very expensive to fix. And I know oil changes on GT3s are over $1,000. Most of the time they don't break. That's why it's earning the number 3 spot, because most people put thousands and thousands of miles on there, especially their Turbo S's, but I'm sure on their GT3s and maybe 3 RS's and 2 RS's, and just no issues. They got that great PDK transmission, dual clutch, works every time, and it's made it into some other cars too, I'm sure, without being acknowledged that it's the PDK. But it's a great car all around. You can beat on them. If you want to just go somewhere as fast as possible, say you need to shoot across, if you're in Germany, across the country, a Turbo S on the Autobahn would just be like, you could pin that thing at 200 the whole time. So you can't say bad things about the Turbo S when it comes to how well they work, especially at like that high end. Maybe you don't want to call a a Turbo S a supercar, because it's it looks like a 911, even though it's a very fast one. But I feel like a GT2 RS definitely ticks that box. A GT3 RS probably ticks that box as well. So Porsche 911 platform, putting that at number 3. All right, on to number 2. Some of you might be able to guess this if you care at all about reliability of supercars, but I'm going to put the Audi R8 in there, specifically the more recent generation, the 2017 to 2023 models. Now that car, as a lot of you know, is essentially a Lamborghini Huracan underneath, but with all Audi body and interior and maintenance costs. That's a great thing right there, because it'll save money if you're taking it to the dealer right away. These Audi R8s, people are putting 40, 50, 60,000 miles on them with no issues. I mean, you do the maintenance, I'm sure you know, I'm not counting brakes or anything like that. That's not really a maintenance thing, that's more of a wearable item. I'm not hearing about engines blowing up. There's not really a lot of, you know, check engine light type of issues on it. I think the suspension's even pretty good. I haven't heard a lot of horror stories on that either. You can just beat on these cars, it seems like, and they just work and work and work. And they've got that great dual clutch transmission paired up to that V10 from Lamborghini. It's what's not to love, you know? I mean, and honestly, that car is pretty easy to drive. You could probably daily drive that car if you really wanted like a daily driver supercar. The reason I'm putting this above a Turbo S, because a Turbo S is faster, is an Audi R8 just looks more like a supercar, and it costs, you know, supercar pricing. So does a Turbo S, but the R8 just feels more like a supercar. And I think it's impressive how reliable the R8 is, considering that it looks like a supercar and acts like a supercar. And I think that's why it goes above the 911s, because those are still, you know, Porsches at the end of the day. All right, and jumping into number 1, no surprise based on what I just said in the last clip, the Lamborghini Huracan. The reason I'm putting this at number 1 over the Audi is because it looks, you know, even more like a supercar than an Audi R8 does. And the Audi takes a lot of the parts from the Lamborghini anyway, so I feel like it's more fair the Lamborghini gets the credit for the reliability, because the Huracan did come out in 2015, whereas that R8 didn't come out until 2017. Ignore these people next to me, they haven't walked away for like 10 minutes, so I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah, the Huracan, 40, 50, 60,000 miles, no major issues. I know the early Huracans, when they came out, some of the brakes would just give out on people, which is not good, but I don't think that's really a reliability thing. I think that's more of a defect that they had to work out. So I think that the Huracan deserves the number 1 spot. You can beat on the car. It sounds insane. It looks insane. It's definitely a supercar. It's got the Lamborghini brand. So I think you have to give that number 1. It's proven to be the most reliable supercar ever made, honestly. I can't think of anything else with a better reputation than that car for reliability purposes. So let's put that at number 1. All right, now I want to talk about kind of some of the rumors about cars not being reliable and whether how true they hold up to be or not. McLaren obviously gets the worst rap for reliability. And to be honest, it was probably warranted from every car from the MP4 12C all the way up until like the 720S Spiders came out. The 720 coupes weren't the best. They had a lot of issues, but it seems like McLaren really put some effort into that 720 Spider and worked out all the little, you know, issues the cars may have been having. Also, that was right around 2020, and we all know what happened that year. And McLaren cut their production in half. No, not a lot of people know this. They were making about 4,500 cars a year leading up to that, and after that happened, they cut it down to like 2,500 a year, and that's still where they're at. So they really focused on R&D and fixed a lot of the issues. Now, the new Artura, when it came out, had hybrid related issues, but I don't think we can count that as like McLaren reliability issues, like the stereotype, because all these brands are having issues with their hybrid cars. The Ferrari 296s haven't worked for a year. The SF90s didn't work for like 2 years. The Revueltos took a year to get banged out. So these hybrid cars, I think we're going to have to just, you know, not count that based on like the, you know, stereotypes of the brands. But, you know, going forward, that's going to be a concern. But a lot of McLarens were okay. Like the 600 LTs, supposedly pretty bulletproof other than the cracking windshields. The 750S is supposed to be really good. The Arturas, now that they fixed the issues with them, are supposed to be great too. I think McLaren's maybe working their way out of all those reliability issues they've been known for, and other brands are starting to get more than they used to be known for. Ferraris were great from like 2010 to like 2020, let's say, but now they're having issues left and right from what I hear. I mean, the SF90s aren't working brand new. The 296s aren't working brand new. People are having issues with their Piero Songways. People are having issues with their Dodici Cylindries, which is ridiculous because they've been making that platform essentially since like the F12, let's just say, and they've just been updating it. So that car should be working flawlessly by now, and it's not. So hopefully all these brands can keep making the cars better and better. If we're being honest, they're all way better than their equivalent was from, say, 2005. Everything's so much better now. The fact that we're even having conversations about daily driving a supercar is insane because that wasn't even a possibility not that long ago. So I think we have to be grateful for that, but also, you know, make good decisions and buy cars that won't destroy you financially if you want to use them a lot. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, you know, let me know down in the comments. I'll get back to them. And let me know if you have any other videos you want to see. I got a few more coming out. I'm going to try and do a video of me talking like this every Friday, and then hopefully a car show or something like that every Tuesday. So stay tuned to the channel. We're going to try and make it nice and big, and appreciate if you like and subscribe. Really helps me out. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.